first just got faster. From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, First at 5.
President Joe Biden just up I-20 right now in South Carolina. He's speaking about green jobs in the red state. State House reporter Mary Green watched his message during his first trip to the Palmetto State this year, where he spoke at the Flex Ltd manufacturing facility in West Columbia.
President Joe Biden's visit here to West Columbia on Thursday comes in the midst of his administration's 3-week Investing in America tour across the country, promoting what they call Bidenomics.
I'm here to talk about what we're doing to invest in America. And I mean invest in America, all of America, starting here in South Carolina. And to talk about the progress we made in building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not trickling down.
During his 20-minute remarks, the president highlighted a new partnership between Flex and Enphase Energy that the White House says will create 600 new jobs in South Carolina alone in the clean energy manufacturing sector. They're some of the 14,000 manufacturing jobs Biden says have been created in the Palmetto State since he took office, crediting his administration's hallmark policies, including the Inflation Reduction Act, bipartisan infrastructure law, and the CHIPS and Science Act. The president took shots at Republicans in Congress, including those in South Carolina's delegation, who lambasted those bills and now tout the dollars and jobs they're bringing to their districts. Flex's West Columbia facility, where Biden spoke Thursday, is in the district of Republican Joe Wilson, who voted against that legislation.
All those members of Congress who voted against it suddenly realize how great it is, and they're bragging about it. As my mother would say, God love them.
I can understand why. They want to take credit. Bidenomics is good for their constituents.
Republican Governor Henry McMaster said in part in a statement, "Our success originates from our people whose values, faith, patriotism, and work ethic are widely known across the globe." In his statement, the governor noted South Carolina's economic growth in recent years, neither crediting the president for playing a role in that, nor criticizing his administration's policies. Reporting in West Columbia, I'm Mary Green.
And the White House says Enphase Energy is the first company that manufactures microinverters in the U.S. Those convert energy from the sun into usable energy. Plus, President Biden expected to stop by Georgia for his Investing in America tour, but no word yet on when that will be. To weather now, we have First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale back in studio this week, and we're finally getting a break today from those extreme temps, some of the rain, but that may not be the case this weekend.
Yeah, Laura, unfortunately, we're getting a little relief from the storm action this afternoon, but moving forward this week, Friday through the weekend, a little bit better coverage of storms expected each afternoon past today. Here's a live look outside of our Beach Island camera. You can see a lot of blue sky. It's definitely a hazy, hot look from our camera there. Feel like temperatures near 100 for most of us, but not tracking much in the way of storm activity. There's a few tiny little cells forming right along the Burke and Richmond County line, but for the most part, a lot of us are still very dry. 93 degrees officially, but 101 is what it feels like when you factor in those dew points in the low 70s. It's pretty sticky outside. Stay safe if you're going to be heading out to the ballpark. It's Thirsty Thursday, but definitely drink plenty of water out there. It's also Garnet and Black Night, so I think it's a night for the Gamecocks out there if you want to head out to SRP. Temps will be in the upper 80s around first pitch, and then we'll fall into the upper 70s towards the end of game time. And once again, I think we do have a good shot of staying completely dry out there for the ball game. Here's a look at other feel-like temperatures across the region. 97 right now in Saluda, 105 in Evans, and then 106 in Louisville. Just some hot, sticky stuff, but it is July in the south, so this is normal for this time of year. Here's a look at our First Alert Radar Network. Better storm coverage between Macon, Atlanta to Athens, North Georgia. There's a little bit drier air in place on top of us today, which is why we're just not expecting those to really hold together too well. Still seeing a few of these isolated pockets of rainfall just north of Waynesboro, and then right along that Barnwell County line near the river, and then central Washington County too. So could not rule out a stray shower to the next several hours, but for the most part, we do look dry. Have an update on those storm chances for the rest of the week in just a bit. Let's get a quick update, though, on your First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
Our folks folks, let's take a look outside of the medical district. Looks like traffic's moving okay there at the moment, and we're not looking at too bad of traffic conditions even here by the state line. Not traffic related, but just to look at the skies across the southeast. We're hitting the 80s up in Death Valley, Sanford. I believe that's an old picture. I don't think it's nighttime up there. And then Bobby Dot, 79 degrees. But we'll have an update on the forecast for you the rest of the week in just a little bit.
In an emergency, every second is vital, and in some situations, making a phone call might not be possible. It's one reason Aiken Emergency Services allows you to send text messages to 911. While it's not new, city officials say a lot of people don't know about it. Our Audrey Dickerber live in the newsroom. So, Audrey, what do we need to know to be able to use this service?
First, you need to sign up, and then it's a simple text in an emergency where you can't call. The text 911 features lets you get in contact with the dispatcher in an emergency. You sign up online through smart911.com. Once you make an account, you are able to put in your emergency contacts, photos, and medical conditions. Regardless of if you use the text feature, putting in this information allows first responders to be prepared and bring the proper equipment if you do have an emergency. Officers say it's a better way to reach everyone.
Text to 911 is basically the exact same as phone call to 911, just a different medium to get there. A lot of people are more comfortable with texting than phone calls.
Both the Aiken County Sheriff's Office and the Department of Public Safety say if you abuse the service, you can still face charges for making false claims or pranks. Coming up all new at 6 o'clock, I'll show you and the other counties who use this service and how it's helped in critical moments.
Really valuable service and a good heads up to go online, sign up for that, make sure you have it in case you ever need it. Georgia Senator John Ossoff is sending more resources to a program in our area. He secured about $14.9 million for the CSRA's Economic Opportunity Authority and their Head Start program. It's to help Georgia families access early childhood education and for their kids to learn and grow. Head Start offers support services in Burke, Columbia, Richmond, and more of our local counties. His office says the funds will be delivered as a grant. Funeral arrangements for a Georgia deputy shot and killed are now set. Crisp County Deputy Ty E. Brown's funeral was next Monday. A suspect killed him during a traffic stop yesterday. Brown has family from our area in Barnwell. Family and friends can pay their respects Sunday from 3 to 5 in Cordele, Georgia. Locally, Burke County, Washington County, and Sandersville Police are all showing support for the deputy and Crisp County Sheriff's Office. Burke County offered their condolences on Facebook, saying deputies will offer any support or assistance in any way they can. Washington County and Sandersville Police changed their profile pictures in support of Crisp County as well. If you drive for Uber in South Carolina, listen up, there's a scam that could hit your wallet. Multiple Low Country drivers say the scammers call their cell phone with a verified Uber corporate number. Then they'll ask for your license plate number and a selfie to prove you were driving the car. Scammers use that info to hack into your payment cards and steal money.
No, the fact that I'm online, that means they're able to access the platform from the back end. That's a problem. The fact that they were able to get my phone number. Now, I think Uber did get hacked at one point, but just the fact that they're able to get all this information, that's a real problem.
He admits he did give that information to the scammer, but quickly transferred any money he could before he lost it once he realized it was probably a scam. If anything, he's going to keep in mind Uber doesn't call late at night, and they don't typically ask for their driver's personal information, and I'm willing to bet they would not want their drivers to take a selfie while they're driving. A woman convicted of stealing $9.5 million from Amazon will serve 16 years behind bars. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Kirika Wortham was the mastermind behind that scheme. They say she recruited at least 6 others to register fake businesses in Amazon's vendor system. Some of the things Wortham bought with the money include a $1 million home, a Tesla, and other luxuries. She's ordered to pay back all the money she stole. New data from the American Cancer Society finds having access to healthy foods leads to a longer life. The average life expectancy for someone who lives in a low-income area is about 76 years old. That's if there aren't as many grocery stores around them. If someone lives in a neighborhood or area with a higher income with more fresh food options, they could live 4 more years. Experts say it could be linked to food deserts or going somewhere like a gas station or a Dollar General for food. That's an issue for people in the Harrisburg neighborhood.
Neighborhoods with low healthy food accessibility were predominantly concentrated in the southeast and in the west.
You gotta go to like a convenience store or 7-Eleven to get your stuff, and that ain't really too healthy.
Advocates say federal leaders need to do more for communities by making sure families have better access. Healthy foods can also help improve focus and attention spans. Still to come, a Swiftie gets desperate to go to the closest Eras Tour concert, so she finds a way with a little help. See how she went viral along the way after a quick break.
And we are mostly dry this afternoon, but still keep an eye on a few isolated cells. Better storm chances moving into the weekend. We'll have that full forecast coming up.
All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. Animal shelters in the CSRA have passed their max capacity. SPCA in Aiken tells us how they're affected and what you can do to help.
Time it takes to make this your biggest summer ever. Big with Milton Herman Superstore.
Taking a look out over the medical district this afternoon. It's warm, but not unseasonably warm. Just regular old July in Augusta warm, Riley.
Oh yeah, Lauren, it's just that time of year. So this is very normal for us to see highs in the 90s, feel like temperatures near 100, and that unfortunately is the case for us out there today. Hazy, hot look outside of our building, looking towards I-20 Riverwatch Parkway. Doesn't look like traffic is backed up too much. Maybe a little bit of a slowdown here in this eastbound lane. But the difference is today is that we don't see torrential rainfall like we did see around this time yesterday. Just hot with those feel like temperatures over 100 right now here in Augusta. Actual temps 93, so average high this time of year 94. We're not too far away from it. If you have plans to maybe fire up the grill or go get a bite to eat for the rest of this evening and tonight, it does look mostly dry for us here in Augusta, and I would imagine most of the CSRA. There are a few very tiny showers that we're looking at, but definitely not the coverage of rain like we saw yesterday afternoon. Better coverage of storms trying to move towards the CSRA, but they're just kind of falling apart. We just don't have the ingredients available to hold them together and sustain themselves too well. So looking at Augusta right now, we are dry. We got the Green Jackets in town tonight. Their first pitch is at 7:05. Looks good for game time. Quick little tiny downpour popping up just north of Waynesboro there along Highway 25, and then closer towards SRS there near the Savannah River. And then for this storm, little line of showers and storms that have formed between Sandersville and Baxley in southern Jefferson County. So there's a few of those just kind of pockets of rainfall. If you do see the rain, the good news is it will help cool you off a good bit. Moving forward this evening, once we get to sunset, that's when the last of the rain should be coming to an end. Overnight tonight, just a few passing clouds. Muggy temps, we're going to stay in the 70s again tonight, and that is going to be a muggy start to our Friday as that warm, humid air just starts to warm up as that sun comes out. That should bubble up a few afternoon showers and storms across the area. Definitely a better opportunity to see the rain tomorrow relative to what we're seeing today. Those tomorrow will last up until sunset, fizzle out, and then we'll do the repeat again on Saturday. So dry in the morning time after the lunch hour, we'll see those storms start to fire up. Not expect a lot of severe weather, but with these summer storms, they can briefly produce some strong wind gusts, torrential rainfall, and obviously have to watch out for the lightning for those outdoor plants. Here's a look at the rain chances for your Friday, kind of peaking after the lunch hour between 2 and 7 o'clock tomorrow. And then for our Saturday, kind of a similar setup to where they just kind of peak into the afternoon. Will it be hit or miss? The heat and humidity is going to continue to be a big part of the weather story as well tomorrow. Heat index values could be as high as 105 at times for a Friday afternoon. So if you are working outside, got anything planned outdoors, just make sure you are staying hydrated and take a dip into the pool if you can get to one. We're expecting highs in the mid-90s all the way through the weekend. Those storm chances, not all-day washouts by any means, so there will be plenty of dry weather mixed in, and hopefully the storms don't interrupt your pool day too much. Once we move past the weekend, we got a little bit cooler outlook Monday, but much higher rain chances, and then staying in that summer-like pattern most of next week.
A Taylor Swift fan going viral for what she did to go to one of Taylor's Eras Tour shows. Jenny Moos shows us how she stayed under wraps.
She found fame by hiding under a blanket in a long line of Taylor Swift fans waiting to buy concert merchandise in Cincinnati.
There are two Swifties here who shall remain anonymous, who called in sick to work.
It wasn't her dedication to Taylor Swift that made her WKRC interview go viral.
I almost named my daughter's middle name Taylor, so...
It was her dedication to her disguise. The Cincy t-shirt folks immediately labeled her legend. Then they claimed they found the legend, though some commenters seemed slightly suspicious, noting she has man hands and theorizing it's a dude. The blanket seemed inspired by sheets worn by ghosts.
Stay calm with Christ is anyway.
In Taylor's anti-hero music video, fans have been known to track down the exact same sheets at Target. At Taylor's Cincinnati concerts, there were sightings. Likely copycats saw two of the legends walk into the concert, had floor seats nonetheless. The blanket disguise reminded us of perp walks, where those under arrest hide their faces, going so far as to use their own hair.
And we're gonna cross our fingers that work doesn't find out, right?
No, you're not. We're good.
Your secret's safe with me.
And if by any chance you want to talk, Incognito Queen, give us a call. We promise to keep your identity under wraps. She reminded many of Cousin It from the Addams Family.
Now you can open your eyes, Cousin It.
Move over, Cousin It. This is the It Girl of the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Ginny Moose, CNN. New York.
I'm just dying to know if all of the Cincinnati employers put the puzzle piece together about their Taylor Swift fan that called out of work. We just got to know how the job ended up. Still to come, a fun vacation takes a scary turn in seconds. We'll hear from a woman who saw an accident unfold right before her family's eyes.
First Alert Radar.
Call me today and let me fight to get you the biggest check possible.
A Georgia visitor witnesses a scary accident. Abby Walton checked in with a woman who saw the moment a 5-year-old fell off a tall water slide.
We saw a kid. He flew out halfway out of the tube.
The 4th of July holiday spent at Lake Winnipesaukee.
I was weird about going this time, but I was like, they have a really good fireworks show.
Quickly turned into something Ginger Bentz will never forget.
I got a 5-year-old male, or a 5-year-old child that's fallen about 20 feet.
You can hear it play out on Broadcastify as dispatchers sent emergency crews to the Rossville Water Park. Ginger says she was in this area watching her kids play when she saw the little boy fall from this green and yellow slide.
I was terrified.
She says the child was unconscious for minutes before any staff came. Dispatchers described the child's injuries.
Complaint of pain all over, lacerations in the leg, and back pain.
Now, the state agency over amusement parks, Georgia's Insurance and Fire Safety Division, is investigating what happened. Catoosa County Fire Department confirms the 5-year-old fell off of the 15 to 20-foot water slide, and Puckett EMS took the boy to the Children's Hospital, leaving Ginger hoping he's okay.
That he was struggling a lot, like he was in so much pain. But I just want to know if he's okay and how they're doing.
Just awful. And a spokesperson for the Office of Insurance and Safety Fire Commissioner says that fault is under investigation. So far, we're not sure how the little boy's doing, but we'll keep you posted. Honda's recalling more than 120,000 vehicles for a possible problem with the brakes. The company says the cars have a loose part that could cause the brakes to stop working. Not ideal. They say it impacts some Civics, Ridgelines, Passports, and more models between 2020 and this year. Car owners should get a letter in the mail about the recall if that affects you, and repairs at the Honda dealership are free.
Well, for our weekend forecast, we are looking at hot, humid conditions and also the chance for a few afternoon storms, but not a complete washout. So hopefully plenty of dry weather to get those outdoor plants in. And it is going to be hot, so good news for our latest sunshade winner. Big congratulations to Steve Stinson from Augusta. To get your own sunshade, just go to wrdw.com, click on contest, and you can enter your email right there. Now look at the forecast just after a quick break.
Don't ignore the sun.
Well, you can plan as much as possible to propose to your partner, but there are some things you just can't prepare for. One man from Tennessee brought his girl to Myrtle Beach this last weekend, and he lost the ring. He says it wasn't in his pocket when he got down on one knee, but it couldn't have gotten far, so he found the nearest patrol officers for help. They started to look. A canine joined the search. Some beachgoers with detectors scanned the sand. The metal detectors eventually found the ring, and he proposed. That is really a miracle, honestly. I mean, you got to say yes after that, right?
Imagine if she didn't.
Yeah, it's like save the
Pretty
man the
bad
trouble. Like, gosh, but yeah, I mean that's a guaranteed yes, I guess, at that point.
Absolutely. Thankfully, they were able to find that. I wasn't
amazing.
sure. Did metal detectors work for gold? Because I guess it's a type of metal, but
Maybe it wasn't gold.
I don't know.
I guess platinum's metal. I mean, I guess it's all metal.
I don't know why I always thought like gold didn't pop up on those. Maybe
Gold
those. I don't know.
is a type of metal.
They found it though. Good news there. So
Get
happy
back
for
to you.
the new engaged couple. Hey, we got the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms out there the rest of this evening. I would imagine most of us do stay dry though. Here's a current look towards I-20. That eastbound traffic moving a little bit slower, but we got a lot of blue sky overhead. I wouldn't imagine we see too much rain here in Augusta the rest of today. 93 degrees officially, but feeling like 101. So the humidity definitely still a factor out there this afternoon. Going to our first alert radar network, you can see a decent coverage of showers and storms just outside the CS area. They're falling apart though as they do reach us. So I wouldn't imagine, I would say most of us probably do stay dry the rest of this evening. For tomorrow through the weekend though, we'll have a little bit better opportunity for those pop-up afternoon storms. Temperatures stay hot in the 90s.
By the way, they do pick up gold.
There you go.
This has a lower conductivity, so some do it better than others. Okay, when we come back, stores closing down left and right in the Augusta Exchange. Here who's the latest to leave.